Hey guys, how's it going? Well, today we're going to talk about the toilet. Where am I right now? I'm at my ex-wife's looking after my kids. Figured this is a good place to start the toilet talk adventure. You can hear my daughter going blah 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 in the background. That's typical daddy stuff. So, everybody needs to use the washroom, even the Queen of England. And you know what? One way to make your van life more comfortable is to have a bathroom in your van. Can you get a full size porcelain toilet in your van? Not likely. And if you did, it would be very difficult to clean. Not recommended. So the traditional setup, well, one of the options is to use a bucket system. And I'm going to go into more details on that later. You can also use a camping style cassette toilet. And I've thought of that option as well. And I may pursue that later. But the camping cassette style toilets, I think they're a bit harder to clean than just dumping out a laundry detergent bottle that I use. So first of all, I want to say that it's really important to have a place to go to the bathroom in your van. I was recently reading on Reddit Van Dwellers, which is a really good site. You should check it out if you're not familiar with it. About this guy, they're talking about the negative sides of van dwelling. And this guy's saying how he has no place to go to the bathroom and he always has to drive around looking for a bathroom or park in specific spots where there are bathrooms. Man, that's a hassle. You need to have somewhere to go in your van. That's my personal opinion. Really, the whole thing is you want to make your van as comfortable as possible so that your life is better and more enjoyable. Now, of course, there are two different ways to go to the bathroom. Let's call them number one and number two. I'm sure you know what that means. So I'm going to discuss number two first. Number two, I don't do in the van whenever possible. I have tried it once just as an experiment, and the resulting odors caused me to try to avoid that as much as possible. You know, your van is your bathroom, it's your bedroom, it's your kitchen, it's your living room. And I don't really want to be sitting in my living room smelling number two. So don't do it in there. That's my kind of thing. You know, if you have an emergency, you should be set up for that just in case. Because, you know, the last thing I want to do is, you know, 2 o'clock in the morning, have to go to go number two and then look for a place and go, oh, what am I going to do? So I'm set up that I can take care of business if I need to. And I'll show you that a bit later in the video. Now, in order to avoid going number two in the van, what I do is I have my daily routine after work. I go to a Starbucks and I have a cup of tea. Usually it's either English breakfast or, as Jean-Luc Picard prefers, Earl Grey, hot. And it doesn't have to be tea, of course. Anything good hot beverage will kind of stir up your bowels and make some party in your pants kind of thing. And but not that party. Let's not be gross, okay? So, you know, I had a subscriber recently say I'm very sick for talking about a cucumber in a previous video, and she goes, "You're so sick. I'm unsubscribing." It's like, man, you gotta lighten up. Life's too short to be so uptight. Anyway, so what I do is, I just go to a coffee shop, have a hot beverage, and within a short while I'm ready to do some business, and then I'm good for the day. Now other people need to go more than once a day. Luckily, my biology just seems to work. I'm good for once. Union break. So regarding number one, what I do is I use a 4-liter laundry detergent bottle. It's close to 4 liters. And what I do is I put it in a plastic bag, and I make sure that the lid of the bottle is tightly secured, and I make sure that I tie off the top of the plastic bag so there's no cross-contamination to my backpack. And then when I'm out and about, I'll simply empty it. Depending on how often I'm in the van, I'll have to empty it more often. If I'm not in the van very much, I could probably stretch it to 3 days. If I'm in the van a lot, it'll be more like 2 days. And I'll just take it and I'll dump it into a public toilet. Put it back in the bag, put it back in my backpack, good to go. Now in the beginning, what I would do, when I first moved into a van, I was trying different experiments. And one of them was I used a 10-liter container, and I could empty that thing every 5 to 7 days. But I found that not very appealing. I'm carrying a huge backpack around of urine, and like it's kind of like you got one job to do, buddy. Take that urine and dump it. That's heavy, 10 liters. And as I'm walking through the Walmart or whatever, I can hear the swish, swish, swish. I'm thinking to myself, if you people only knew what I got in my backpack. What if I had a heart attack or a medical emergency and they had to take out my backpack and check stuff out, or what's all this? Gross. Anyway, I guess that would be true of 3 liters as well. But the thing with the 10 liters is, when you're dumping 10 liters of urine into a toilet, what's happening? Well, I can tell you, there's a little bit of splashing happening. And not only that, but those vapors that are going into the air, it's actually little tiny particles of urine going up your nose. So that's pleasant. Anyway, I found the 4-liter method much more preferable. I can do it every few days. It's quick and easy. No problems. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I think I've somewhat improved upon the proverbial bucket toilet system. Okay, so what we have here is a bucket. As you can see, I got this from Lowe's. I picked this bucket because I like the color, and I think they're a bit better quality than the ones at Home Depot. What I also have is, if I can get this thing off, I bought this unit off Amazon. It's a little bit dusty from sawdust, for about $10. And then I took this part off. I just sawed it off because it was causing me some issues going up and down and being in my way. But I'm gonna keep it just in case, you know, I have someone over in the van or whatever. It's kind of not the greatest thing to have the toilet seat hanging out in the middle of everybody can see it. So cover it up a bit. But you know, when I'm by myself, I want ready access, and I don't really care. So for number 2, you simply take your bag, this is big white kitchen catcher, and wrap it around. And do your business. You're done. Take it out. Tie it up good. I recommend two layers, double bag it at the minimum. 3 isn't a bad idea. And then I also recommend to get rid of it as soon as possible, because it will still smell right through the bag. If this is in the middle of the night or something, what I would do is I would put it in the front of my van by passenger door or something, and then because that way it's not in the van. Or I might even just like stick it under my driver's side wheel or something, and then get it in the morning and dispose of it, because I really don't want it in the van for obvious reasons. So what I use for urine disposal
is this laundry container, black tank. You notice how it's black? Get it? It's 3.93 liters, which is 1.04 gallons. And I've had this thing for like a year, and I haven't had a problem with it leaking or anything. So I use that. Now what I do is I just put it in here, and that's it. Simple. I can adjust it, I can move it. The beauty of this system is a few different things. Number one, I put my bungee on it, and now it's not moving. I can drive around. This isn't secured right now, but I can drive around. It's not going to spill. I mean, if it does spill, it's going to be contained within the bucket, so I don't have to worry about it. Number two is one of the big benefits of kind of setting it up, a permanent system, is that whatever happens, I don't have to look for my stupid urine container, because that for the longest time, until like 2 weeks ago when I set this up, you know, it was like, I gotta go to the bathroom, where did I put that thing? I gotta look for it, and then you gotta hold it awkwardly or whatever. So having it in here, I can just sit down and do my business, and then get up, wipe myself, and I'm good. So if you can, I really recommend having your toilet bucket set up in one spot that is like permanently there. It's a lot easier to contend with. Now this bucket, I'm actually intending to make a box around it and then paint it like a cooler. I'm doing with that. I haven't done it yet. I'm still kind of working on stuff. But you know, just make it a little bit nicer. Bucket's kind of a little bit crass, but hey, you're living in a van, right? So let's take a closer look at the setup that I have going here. This is a little bit dirty right now. It's actually just sawdust in here. I actually haven't gone number 2 in this one, so it's completely clean. What I've got here is I've put some wood just as a spacer, and what that helps me do is keep the bucket away from the wall, which gives me a bit more space. And the wall is actually curving upwards like this, so this helps me be a bit more comfortable when I'm sitting on it. And what I've done here, let's take this out, is I've elevated, I took a piece of plywood, I cut it in sort of a rough circle, and I've elevated it by, these are both 1.5 inches, so that's 3 inches altogether. And, you know, there you go. Then I just put this piece of wood on it, and it's very stable, it's not moving around. And I put that there. And it's good. I was actually thinking of making like a cutout so it would just stay in that one spot and wouldn't move at all, but I don't really think it's necessary. Being in the bucket, it's even if it does spill, it's not going to go anywhere except in the bucket. You know, worst case scenario, I cut new wood out, I get a new bucket, and I'm good to go if I really needed to go that far. If I wanted to, I can always put this thing back on. And you know, if I had I'd have to take the urine thing out to get it on, actually. But there is a rubber seal on this part right here. So if I had a really, if it was really desperate and it was freezing outside, I could just close this up if I had a number 2 emergency and seal it, and I probably wouldn't be able to smell it through the bucket. In fact, I could just take the whole thing out and put it in the front if I wanted to. Lots of different options. So it's good to have different ways of making things work. So there you go, guys. I think that's somewhat of an improvement on just a regular bucket with a plastic bag inside. You can take the laundry detergent bottle and dump it on a public toilet. The bucket itself will stop it from moving around in the van, and you always know where it is at all times, having a permanent location. You don't have to worry about anything spilling if you didn't quite tighten the lid on properly. That's peace of mind. And you can just get up and sit down and go. You don't have to dig stuff from under the bed. You don't have to look for that silly laundry detergent bottle. It's all right there. If you have an emergency number 2, you just take the bottle out, put the plastic bag in, do your business, and you're good to go. So I think there's some definite benefits of having the toilet all set up like this, and elevating it to where it's comfortable with the plywood underneath is helpful as well, just to increase maximum comfort. And at the end of the day, what you want to do to make living in a van easier is to make it more comfortable in any way you can, including going to the bathroom. Anyway, I hope that's helpful to some people out there, and you can use those tips to make your van dwelling experience a little bit more comfortable. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good night.